Hello. Happy Tuesday.
What was that? You took like a
The
big breath before we started.
countdown is so slow. It just the screen goes 5, 4, 3, 2. That's how slow it feels. So I'm just sitting here and I'm like, okay, next number, next number. Happy Tuesday.
There we go. It was a little weird, but that's all right. Not the strangest thing that's happened on this podcast. So,
Yeah,
how
right.
was how was your trip?
It was good. That was the first time I've been to Hawaii, so it was fun. Went to the Big Island in like the Kona area, I think. Oh no. Nala has a squeak toy. Sorry if you hear squeaks in the background. So anyway, I should have put her squeak toys up before I started recording. You
It's all
couldn't have
good.
picked the first time to chew on that toy. Can you pick a different toy? She's just looking at me like, oh, don't give me a squeak toy then. No, it was
She's
great.
like, I didn't agree to a podcast. I'm sorry.
I know. Well, before I hit record, she was already kind of whining, and I made her come sit by me. And then now she's not sitting by me, and she's chewing on a toy. Anyway, I did a DNA test on her too, so I could talk about that if you want. But Hawaii was fun. It was great. Got lots of sun, lots of beach time. We
Very
saw a
nice.
volcano, a dormant volcano. It was one of those volcanoes. It's not like what you think. It's not like a teepee looking thing. It's like it's almost like a river, like an in like it was caved in. So it's like
Oh,
a
interesting.
lava. So it's not one of those lava. It's not one of those like shooting out lavas. I
Sure.
don't. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, and I forgot what the name was called. So I'm just butchering this whole thing. But it looks like a little river. It like just kind of like bubbles up. It wasn't doing that, but that's the type of lava. That's the type it was. So
It's pretty cool.
yeah, volcano lava. That's what I meant to say. That's the type of volcano it was. So
That's all right. I got you.
yeah,
You're back from
it's been
vacation. I think you've started school or you're starting school this week.
back to work. Yeah, we started
You're
this
back to
week.
work, so
Back to my brain. Yes, exactly.
it's
So, and we,
always an interesting podcast episode when we do it the week you start school.
yeah, it's very, yeah. And we swam with sea turtles. So that was fun too.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah.
I've done that. I did that the first time I went to Hawaii, not
Yeah.
intentionally, but just in the area that we were at. We were swimming. There was, I think, 2 or 3 really big turtles. It was cool.
Nice. Yeah. They're
Yeah,
so cool. They're just chill.
they are.
They come close to you too.
Yeah, they
Ours.
really. I went with my family, and they got real close to Jordan. He was just swimming, and all of a sudden, just poked him right in the butt. He
It's like,
turned around. I
hey,
was like, "Ah, this is a huge turtle." Yeah, was not interested in his space, his personal space.
that's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool. It was a nice
cool,
trip.
awesome.
Good.
Very
Yeah.
nice. And I'm sorry, you said you did a DNA test for your dog?
I did a DNA test on Nala. I
Okay,
have them. I have to pull it up. Do you hear that? I'm sorry.
that's all good.
Okay. Um, okay. So originally, so I knew she was pit mix. That's obvious just by looking at her. She's a pit mix.
Sure.
But the shelter had originally thought she was part basset hound too because of her short like stature and she looked kind of long. But she's also like a beefy, like muscular, like she looks like she does pull-ups. It's insane. So anyway, so I'm just like, I don't know, she's pit something. So here we go. She's 4 breeds came up, mostly pit. But the first one is 32% American Pit Bull Terrier.
Okay.
Okay. And then 28% German Shepherd.
Oh, interesting.
What?
Huh.
But her face, so because her nose is like black, like dark, like a German Shepherd, maybe that's where it comes from.
Okay.
So that threw me for a loop. And then she's 24% American Bully, which is like a newer breed, quote,
Okay.
breed of that, came up in the 80s and 90s. And I don't know this just by heart. It has the whole thing on it. Like it has history.
Oh, the whole breakdown. Yeah, that makes sense.
So she's 24% American Bully, which is basically a mix of the pit bull and a Staffordshire
Hmm.
terrier,
Okay.
which brings me to my next breed. She is 15% American Staffordshire Terrier, which is hilarious. So anyway, so she's mainly pit bull terrier, then she's German Shepherd, then she's bully, then she's Staffy.
Interesting.
But
That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
Anyway, yeah, she could care less. I just wanted to know.
I was gonna
So,
say, is there? I mean, obviously, just other than just being curious and
yeah.
wondering what her makeup is, can you use that information for anything else? Like, does that help explain any behavioral things or anything like that?
Yeah, because she's really good with people, which um, what breed is it? Is it the bully? The bully is supposed to be a really good family dog.
Okay,
Um, all the pit bulls actually, but one of the bullies aren't great, or one of the pit bulls aren't great with other dogs, and I think that's her. I think it's the staffy that can be kind of like territorial.
it's that Mike
Um,
Vick pit bull.
huh?
It's like that Michael Vick pit bull.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good to know that she's German Shepherd, I guess, because they always have hip problems like me. So I got to watch out for that.
It's a match
So,
made in heaven. You guys can get
yeah,
surgery at the same time.
I know we both have hip dysplasia. Just go figure.
There you go.
So, I don't know. I was just curious, and yeah, I just wanted to see where she came from, and it's great. And there's no Basset Hound in there, so I can. She's not Basset Hound, which she talks a lot. So I'm not sure which breed that is out of this four. I'm sure someone listening knows. She talks so much. I'm surprised she's not yelling at me right now.
Yeah,
But she, anyway. So that was fun to find out.
very cool. Well, speaking of the whole hip situation, how was that? Does that affect you on the flight at all, or is that uncomfortable, or does that not affect your hip?
No, so I'm taking Celebrex, which is, I think I said before,
Yeah,
basically like ibuprofen on crack.
sure,
That has helped a lot. So my hips, eh, all it's done so far is do some like clicking noises,
sure.
and it's sore from time to time, but it's not as bad as it was a few months ago. So that's good.
Without the medication, though, would like a long plane ride be a problem, or is it not so much when you're sitting?
You know what? It is a little bit. It is sitting actually.
Yeah.
It's sitting, and then of course it's like running and doing lots of moving around. Um, so yeah, probably it probably wouldn't have been so comfortable.
All right. Well, shout out to the medicine.
Shout out to the medicine.
Made for an enjoyable trip.
Yeah, yeah. So it was good.
Before we step away from the Hawaii thing, do you have any food? Like, if you had to pick one food that really stuck out that was unique to your trip, what would that be?
Let's see. We had sushi there. We had the person we were staying with made us some like barbecue chicken. That was good.
Oh, nice.
What else did we have? I had some beef there. Um, I thought the sushi there was really good, which isn't like anything crazy.
Sure.
Didn't have anything that I'm trying to think. Wasn't prepared for this question because now I can't remember the food that I ate there. Also, if it
I
comes to
asked
me
at
later,
at a bad time of your week and your year. I apologize.
yeah, my brain. The food was great. Like there wasn't any bad food. And now I can't remember anything I ate right now. But anyway, but the sushi was good. We had a bunch of sushi there one night.
Okay, perfect.
So
Yeah,
good.
that was a bad co-host question. I shouldn't have thrown that alley oop to you because
Oh,
you're not ready
I
to
did.
dunk.
I did have some like tuna belly that was really good too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
very nice. So was it a lot of eating at the host house, or was it kind of a mix of eating there, going out?
We would have like breakfast there, like just kind of like he made some like homemade bread and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Made some mango banana bread that was so good.
Oh, love
That was
mango.
I know. And then he made dinner for us one night, but then the other nights and for lunch and stuff we ate out.
Okay,
So yeah, it'll come to me. I can't remember the other food that I had.
be like
Yeah,
minute like 35 in the podcast. Like, oh, that's what I had. I'm like, what? Oh, that's
I
right.
remember I ate. Mhm.
Well, very cool. I'm glad you had a good trip, and welcome back. We had an awesome episode last week with Lars. His artist name is Larza, and Lars Anderson, a guy I played baseball with back in the day. Didn't really play against him. I played against him technically, but really it was me standing in the batter's box and just watching him throw uh, lasers past me, and then being terrified when I was pitching against him. So Just a really cool guy. That was a fun episode. So if you guys have not heard that yet, make sure you go back and check out that episode. It was fun for sure. I didn't even make fun of you in that episode. I think all I said was that you went to Hawaii, and that was it.
That was it. That's all you can say.
That's not all I could say. That's all I chose to say. But that's very sweet that you think that about me. That's all I could say. Just chose not to. Anyways, we're not talking about any of this stuff tonight. Tonight we are bringing back the Connectable guest draft. So if you're unfamiliar, or if you did not hear our last Connectable guest draft that we did, we do a draft. We pick a topic, we do a draft, and the only people that we can draft for this group of 5 that we choose is people that have been on the show before, people who have been guests on this podcast from episode 1 until Lars, basically. And so we pick a topic. We say, okay, there's 5 people that we feel fit this topic best. And Deb and I go back and forth in a draft style format to pick our team. And it was a lot of fun last time. Last time we did a zombie apocalypse team, which was a lot of fun. And it was fun seeing people's responses after we posted the episode. That was really cool on social media. So we thought we might try to do this every other month. We don't do it every month because we don't want to bother people that much, but maybe every other month we'll try to drop a Connectable guest draft. So all that being said, that's catching everybody up in case you weren't familiar with the podcast up until now. And this week we decided to do a Connectable guest draft for a heist crew. So most of us have seen Ocean's 11 or Italian Job or anything like that, right? These movies where they're stealing something from a bank, they're stealing like some kind of, thing, a jewel, something, artifact at a museum that's, some significance. All these different movies that we've seen, even Fast and the Furious, they do some of that stuff. So we thought it'd be fun to pick 5 people who would be a part of our heist crew. And the roles, I did some research because I'm like, I know there's specific roles within a heist crew. So I looked some things up, and basically what it came down to was you have the mastermind, the person who comes up with the plan, the muscle, the person who handles business if things start getting a little bit hairy. You have the hacker, the tech person that does all the gadgets and all that stuff, computer stuff. You have the smooth talker who is either distraction or can get you out of a sticky situation. And you have the cat burglar. I didn't like that name, but that's a person who can get in and out of tight situations. They climb up stuff, they crawl under stuff. They can sneak into places where others may not be able to. So that's our draft category tonight. We're gonna go back and forth, but yeah, Connectable guest draft heist crew. That's what we're doing.
Love it.
All right.
Let's go. All right.
So, Deb, would you like to go first?
Sure. So this round, I tried not to pick anybody that I picked from the zombie apocalypse round.
I did the same thing. Nobody from that one.
I'm not going to lie, on one of the categories, I do have one repeat, and we'll get there when we get there.
Okay. Oh, can I say one more thing? You and I talked about this beforehand. We're not going to go in any kind of order. So whichever way you want to do it, whichever person or category you want to start with, just go whichever direction, and I'll do the same. So just so everybody knows, we're not going to go, we're not going to go category by category. It's kind of wherever you feel the need to draft someone.
Okay. I think I'm going to start from the bottom, actually.
All right.
List of said, and work my way up to the mastermind.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I'm going to start with my repeat zombie draft person then. So I'm going to start with the cat burglar. So, like you said in your description, and to me, a cat burglar is just someone who's just like quick and can like get into places, get out of places quickly, climb things, carry things, whatever. And I gotta go with my girl Erin Wachter again for the cat burglar.
That's a great choice.
She's gonna be my cat burglar.
That's a perfect choice. We've followed Erin for quite a while, and we've seen her and doing all these CrossFit games and on the rings and on the pull-up bar and all that stuff. That would be a great choice. That'd be a great choice. I think she's injured right now, though.
Well, she's gonna have to get better for this heist.
Get better before the heist.
Yeah. She can like scale a wall, I bet.
Yeah, for sure.
She could, like, just sprint. I almost knocked my laptop over. I'm so excited. She could like. You
may want to think twice about joining this crew, Erin, because she can barely handle her computer. Just think twice.
Listen, I'm not I'm not on this list at all. I'm just on the outside forming the team, and then I leave and I'm out.
There you go. There you go.
But I think would be a great addition to the team. Yes.
That is a very good call. I love
There
it.
you go. You're on my zombie team and you're on my heist team.
All right, cool. Okay, I'm gonna go with the smooth talker. So again, this is a person that can either cause a distraction. They have a gift of talking. And I think they also have to have a gift of just naturally, I think people like this person because I think they have to be someone that people are drawn to because as you're trying to break in to wherever you're going or try to, execute whatever plan you have, I think you need someone there that is just good with people and that is very convincing that people believe in. So when they say something, people trust their word. And like I said, I think they have to be really good at communicating. They have to be really good at talking. And this is the first person that came to mind for me for my entire list. This is the very first person. And I don't know if you're going to be able to find too many people better at dealing with people in all kinds of situations than our friend Miss Alexis Smith. I think Alexis is one of the best. I've seen her talk to people from all walks of life. I've seen her have conversations of different, topics and everything. I think Alexis would be a great addition to the team. And I think if you need someone to distract someone else, and if you need someone to get you out of a bad situation just by using their words and talking, you don't get much better than Alexis.
You know what? You took one of my people. No, she was gonna be on. She was on my smooth talker draft, to be honest.
She was in the same category.
Yeah, I put I put a few people just in case you took one of them, sure. And you just took her. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
She was the first person on my list.
Yeah, right. Well, there you go. Yeah, she would be perfect for that. Yes. Yeah, you took my person. I'm so mad at you. Okay, well,
I can live with that.
Because that hasn't happened yet. I don't think. Did we fight over anyone on the zombie apocalypse? I don't think we did.
I don't think so. I think we had some. I don't think I ever took like a top choice of yours, and I don't think you took one of my top choices. I think you took some that were on my list. Maybe Jonna might have been one that I think you took, and I was planning on taking, but that maybe not though. I can't remember.
Okay, well, this is still going to be a good choice for me though. So,
all right,
for me, my smooth talker, I'm gonna go with Kevin Bracy.
I almost took Kevin.
Kevin is just, he knows what to say. He's relatable. People love him. Motivational speaker. I think he would be perfect for it.
That's a great. I almost took Kevin as well. But I figured Kevin would be too busy talking to all these schools that he's speaking to all over the Sacramento area. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave Kevin off the list, but that's a good call. That's a great call.
Sorry. So I don't know if I'm playing this game right. So I said cat burglar, but you just did a smooth talker, but I just revealed my smooth talker. So it's your turn again.
Yes. Yep. That's perfect. That's how the game goes.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Who do I want to go with next? You know what? I'm going to go with the muscle because I think the muscle, there's two guys that came to mind for the muscle. I think this is a fun one because like I said, if we find ourselves with our back against the wall and the only way out is just scrap, no more smooth talking, no more distractions. It's like, you just need someone who can just kind of handle business. It's like, well, I guess we're fighting now. And this is the guy who's going to lead the charge and kind of be the again, the muscle, the heavy for the team. I have two guys, but the guy I'm going to go with is our friend, Tyler Andrade. We know Tyler's story. We know Tyler's kind of talked about when we first met Tyler on the Character Combine podcast, he kind of explained his upbringing and what he went through. That guy has seen a lot of stuff, and he's also just a insanely driven guy, and he's huge. Tyler is a tank, and he's a former gym owner, and he's a wildland firefighter. He does all this stuff. That's the guy I want leading the charge if stuff starts getting hairy and we gotta throw down. I'm not going to do it, but Tyler will. And Tyler, like I said, I can't emphasize this point enough. Tyler is huge. Remember the first time we met Tyler in person? Like, oh, this guy's a giant. You don't mess with that guy. And he just looks the part. So Tyler Andrade is my choice for the muscle of the group.
There you go. Sorry, Nala started growling at me. I think Nala's going to be my muscle. Can I pick her?
Sure. Sure.
She's really feisty right now. All of her toys are out. Yeah.
She's been mentioned on this podcast a couple of times since you got her, so she's almost like a guest at this point.
It's almost
She
like
counts.
She just took her squeak toy in the other room. Okay. All right. That's a good one for the muscle. Okay. So I'm going to go with the hacker.
Okay.
And my hacker is going to have to be Kaylyn Denison. So
okay.
Kaylyn, and I want to say I'm biased, but I'm not biased because I work with her, and Debley and I co-hosted and interviewed her on one of the episodes. But she does really good graphic design stuff, and I'm telling you, Kaylyn she thrives on the computer, and she's not like, she'll be like, I'm not like tech savvy, I don't really know what I'm doing, but she figures shit out. I don't know how she does it. She just does. Like, I'll ask her a question, she's on her computer, she knows what to do. She's just a problem solver. So I think that she would be great as a hacker because she's always like 5 steps ahead of me. Anytime I need help with anything on the computer or when we're doing stuff teaching wise, she like has it up and ready to go, and she just figures it out. I don't know. I guess I know her on more of a personal level, so I know that she's good. She's good at all that stuff. So I would have her be my hacker for sure.
Good call. Yeah, and like you and I kind of text back and forth about this. This was open to anybody, family, friends. Last time we chose not to kind of just take family and friends off the board because it was the zombie apocalypse, and it felt wrong not to pick family. So it's like, you know what I mean? Or your friends, like it just felt wrong. So it's like, okay, let's take that off the table because it kind of defeats the purpose, because we could basically fill a whole team with just family and friends. So This one I told Deb, different. It's not life or death, so it's all good. If you pick someone you're close with like Kaylyn. So that's a great choice. And she does a great job with all the social media stuff for you on your mermaid therapy page too.
Yeah, she does a great job. Yeah. So she's good at all those things. So I had a few people on my list, but I just had to go with her just because I know she would be amazing at being a hacker. So anyway.
Sure. You know, I'm just going to follow in your footsteps because I actually only have one person down for this. So I'm just going to shoot for the stars and hope that Deb doesn't pick this person. I'm going to pick someone who I know is constantly using technology. I think understands all kinds of different technologies. I've seen him use cameras. I've seen him use computers. I've seen him use drones. I've seen him, put all that stuff together. I think if you had someone that you needed to figure out how to hack something or understood gadgets, like if you needed, hey, we need a drone for this mission, for this heist, he's a pro with this stuff. And because he knows cameras and film so well, I think anything that in that world, surveillance, all that stuff, I think he would have it down. And so I'm going to go way, way, way back to our early days of the podcast with Zac Zlatic, filmmaker, videographer, Zac Zlatic. I think he'd be perfect. He's a super smart guy, and I think he understands technology and all that stuff. So that's my pick for the hacker gadget guy.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah,
that would be that's a good competition right there, those two.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I thought you were going to say Jordan the way you were talking.
No, I don't even think Jordan's flown a drone. No.
I don't know why I think he's flown a drone. Maybe it's because you guys always have the GoPros on.
Could be. Yeah, if him and I were a part of this, you would just have GoPro footage of us being hauled off to prison. We would get caught for sure.
Right.
So no, that was not Jordan.
Okay.
I'll be interested to see how he feels about you saying that, though.
Yeah, right. He'll be mad that you didn't pick him. See, I just got you in trouble.
I don't think so.
All right. So we have our hackers. We have our smooth talkers. You have your muscle. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go ahead and say my muscle. This was a hard one also. Just because out of all of our guests, we have some, we've had some CrossFit people. We have some bodybuilding people. You know what? I'm going to say Chad Larsen.
Ah, DJ
Yeah,
Xtifer.
DJ Extifer. And the reason I chose him, because he does bodybuilding too, right? Am I wrong?
You didn't do any research, did you?
No, I
No,
did,
I'm just
but now
kidding.
I'm
Yeah.
second myself. I didn't. I did research, but I didn't write this one in my notes. I just put his name, and I'm in my head. I'm like,
No, I'm
he
kidding.
does
He's a bodybuilder. Yeah, he's a
right,
bodybuilder.
and he's a DJ. And his personality when we interviewed him was just his personality is just so he's so energetic.
Yeah.
Like, I can picture him just going in and kicking ass if he needs to.
To a beat.
Yeah, yeah, and having fun while he does
Sure.
it.
Sure.
So yeah, so that's gonna be my muscle. That's I could picture that. It reminds me of one of oh god, give me a second. I have a brain fart. What is the? It's not the Avengers, is it? With the raccoon. Oh my god! Please don't scream at me.
Oh,
Anyone?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians. Sorry, Guardians. He reminds me of that. He just
The
that
raccoon?
he. No, no,
I'm
not
just
the
kidding.
raccoon. But like he gives me that feel because you know how Guardians is like badass, but it's also like comedic relief,
Sure.
and
Sure.
everyone's got the energy. That's what he reminds. So that's the type of like muscle I need. Just like go in there, go get the job done.
There you
He's
go.
gonna
Get
want
back
us
to the ones and twos. Do your DJ thing.
yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
You know what my first thought was when you said
Huh.
that? Have you seen the movie Man on Fire with Denzel?
I have actually. It's been a while though. But
Okay.
yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I've said on this podcast. It's my favorite movie of all time. And there's a scene where he has to go into um, like a Mexican raid, and it's a rave, not raid, rave. And so like this, the music going, people are dancing. That's kind of what I imagine it would be like if Chad walked into like he's in the middle of a set. Deb gives the call. It's like I got to handle some stuff. He leaves the table, beats some people up, and then goes back to his thing. It's kind of what I pictured.
Yeah. I think that's perfect.
Yeah,
Because he doesn't need. I don't want my muscle just tearing through anything and everything. No matter like he needs to. It needs to be planned. It needs to be like okay, I'm gonna go do this, take care of business, and then he doesn't take it home with him. He just is like, all right, we're good.
Oh,
I feel
interesting.
like he gives that energy. Yeah, because your muscle can screw it up. Your muscle could just be a hothead, just
Sure.
like messing it up for everybody. But I feel like Chad would just like go do the job and just okay, bye. And
That's
then
interesting.
wait for
I didn't think about it from that level. I don't think Tyler would take it home, but Tyler, do whatever you gotta do.
you it either.
Crush,
Yeah, no.
break people, doesn't matter to me. We just need to escape. That's all I'm asking. But no, it's good. It's a good choice. I like it. Definitely a couple big boys for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. All right, so I've got either the cat burglar, which I still hate that name. If anybody can think of a better name, please let me know because I hate that with a passion. But I couldn't think of anything better. Or the mastermind. Well, you have the mastermind. That's your last one. Let's do this. I'll go with the cat burglar.
Okay.
So this person, so you may not have known this about this specific person because I think when he came on the podcast, he didn't talk about any of these things. We talked about a very specific thing that he's doing right now. But when I met him, this guy was really big into rock climbing. Did a ton of rock climbing, and I just feel like he had that athletic ability to climb things. He's not like the biggest guy in the world, so I think he would be able to squeeze into some tight spaces. And like I said, he's just kind of like that nimble guy that I think is can get around. Like I said before, crawl, climb, slide through, whatever it is. I think this guy would be perfect, and that is our friend Happy.
Oh,
Happy the
yeah.
fisherman. So like I said, we talked a lot about the fishing, but I think Happy would be perfect for that because like I said, when I met him, he was really big into rock climbing, and so that's just kind of always stuck in my head. So I feel like that he would be perfect for that situation.
Yeah. I think that someone who could do rock climbing is important for that job.
I think
Also.
so. That's kind
That's
of
who I picked. Someone who rock climbed, and I didn't like. I don't know. That's why I chose Erin because I'm like, I'm sure she can scale a wall, no problem. I think
oh,
she
I have
can.
no doubt.
But yeah, but Happy being like a rock climber, like that is perfect.
Yep. So there we go. Went with Happy.
There we go. I think we have a pretty good team so far,
I
both of
think
us.
so. Feels very
Okay.
different than last time.
I know. Yeah, it is. No, it is. I like these categories. They're specific and because I think because for zombie apocalypse, we just chose people, right? Or did we have categories?
No, we didn't have categories. That was just like, hey, your best five.
Okay. But I like these because people have different strengths in different areas.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree. Okay, we got the big
Okay.
one, the
So,
mastermind, the person who's the brains behind the whole thing, who puts together the plan, who organizes this group of people that we're putting together. We got to figure out who's going to run this whole thing. Like this is kind of like Ocean's,
right.
or I guess Takimoto's 5, McCollum's 5. Even though we do need to pause for 1 second before we get to this. When I text Deb about this, you really hit me with a curveball, and you said you've never seen Ocean's 11, which I feel like that's one of those movies that, especially around people like around our age, I feel like it was a big movie around that time. So it took me back a little bit. I was a little bit surprised.
I know, but aren't there so many at this point? When they get to be so many, I'm just like, oh, yeah. It's like Fast and Furious. Like there's so many. There's so many. I think I just don't even want to start now. There's like 10 of them.
But see, honestly, not that you need me to convince you to watch or not watch, but I feel like with Ocean's 11, the first one, Ocean's 11, is by far the best. I feel like you could watch that movie and just not watch any of the rest of them, and you'd be just fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyways,
All
that was
right.
a real curveball you threw at me. I wasn't expecting that.
It's one of those things where it's like I'm very ashamed, and I feel like this is a movie I should have watched. I just never did. I know what you're talking about when you like the categories. Okay, like yeah, that makes sense, of course. But yeah, there's some movies where I'm like, yeah, nope, never seen it, and I know it's really popular, and I know everyone talks about it, but I just still haven't seen it yet. I don't know why.
But you know what? Like we've talked about this before, and I think we've talked about this at length. The shame thing, you shouldn't even feel that, because I don't care, because people say that all the time. Like, what, you haven't seen Harry Potter? Nope, and I don't
Yeah,
plan on it. Oh, you haven't seen Lord of the Rings? Nope, don't plan on it. Game of Thrones? Absolutely not interested. They're like, what? And they try to convince me, like, you can say whatever you want. I'm not interested. So I'm with you. No shame here. I was surprised, more so surprised. Like I was talking to Rachel about it. I think I was more so surprised because, like I said, I do feel like that was a big movie for kind of our age range, and I feel like I saw it a lot growing up. And even now, if it's on TV, I'll stop and watch it for a little bit. So it took me back. No shame here, but I was a little surprised.
I gotta watch it now for real after all this, and I'll be like, oh, okay,
All right, there we go. Anyway,
okay,
anyway,
okay.
so who's the
I know.
mastermind?
I'll watch it one day. Never seen it. Okay, so yeah, the mastermind needs to just be good at delegating, right?
Sure,
And putting plans together, and having like a creative viewpoint on that, basically. So the
sure,
mastermind needs to be someone who manages well, right?
sure.
So in my head, that's what I think. So I had a few people on my list, but I'm gonna have to go with Nicole Scott
Ah,
because again, this is a biased one because I know her on a personal level.
sure.
Nicole is the general manager at Log Off Brewing. I've seen her work. She does a million things in one day, and she has to coordinate the different events that come in, and she has to have a schedule of different vendors that want to come on this day, different bands that want to come on this day, and this party wants to be here on this morning, and another party is going to come in the afternoon. Like she's explained all the things to me, and I'm like, my brain hurts just watching you do this. Like,
Yeah,
how are you doing this? She's like, I don't know. She's just good at it, but she's always been good at that like managerial position and just delegating. And she's very fast, and she won't get tired. She'll just keep going. So I feel like she would be a good mastermind leader because she knows people's strengths and weaknesses too. She
sure.
knows what people are like really quickly. She can say like they're good at this, they're good at this, that person's not good at that. Like she just kind of knows. So yeah, I think Nicole would be my mastermind.
That's great. That's a good call. I was wondering if that was the direction you were going to go,
Yeah,
because you emphasized manager a couple of times. I'm like, she might be picking Nicole.
yeah. Nicole's the
Good
one.
choice. Good
She's the
choice.
one. All right, who's your mastermind?
Oh man. Okay, so I have 4 people on this list that I could have gone with, and I feel like there's more, but I limited myself because I feel like we do have a decent amount of really smart people and creative people on this podcast, um, which I don't know how we continue to trick these people in coming onto our show, because it's not really that smart of a show. But thank you everybody who continues to say yes when we invite you. That being said, I do have a bunch of people, and man,
Hard.
it is really tough because I could pick a couple different people here, and okay, I'm gonna go with this guy. This guy, very similar to what you're saying about Nicole. He owns his own business. He manages not just his own staff, but then he manages the clients that he works with. I think he's really good at marketing what he does. I think he's good at social media. I think he understands, like what you said, the creativity side. I think he's great at that. And not only that, but I think he's a forward thinker. I think that he sees things that are kind of coming down the road for his business and for, you know, the world that he works in. And I think he's a good leader. And I think he's just and I think he's well connected. And I think having connections as a mastermind is helpful. You know, outside of your group of five, I think having connections around, you know, in the world around you is beneficial as well. And I think this guy is just a really smart guy, and I think he would be a great mastermind to help put this whole thing together. And that is our friend Daniel Thomas.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think he'd be good. He's used to organizing and training and working with athletes. He has his own staff that he manages, and like I said, I think he's just a really creative, smart guy, and I do think he's a forward thinker. So I think trying to put this whole plan together, I think he'd be good at it. I think he'd be a good leader for the team.
I think that's a great choice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we have a really good team, each of us.
It's pretty solid. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Did you have any other? Did you have any other? What was like maybe a tough call for you for one of these other categories? Did you have another one that
Well,
was really tough?
well, the smooth talker one, I had Kevin, Bracy, and Dwight Taylor down.
Okay,
Well,
that's good.
I mean, Dwight down as well because he's also a motivational speaker, and I feel like he would be great at being a distraction and
Sure.
just people him and So there was that one. Another neck and neck one for me on the muscle was Chad Larsen or Cody Allen.
See, Cody was my second one.
Okay. Okay. He was both of our second choices. Okay.
That doesn't say anything about you, Cody.
So that's who was going to be my second choice for that. Everyone else was kind of like, oh, I think I know who I want, but
Yeah,
those two, those were close calls. I mean, of course, you took Alexis from me for the smooth talker, but I had Kevin and I had Kevin / Dwight. I'm like, it's hard to pick, but I'm like, I wrote Kevin down first, so I'm going to pick Kevin.
there you go.
But they're both great people. Like that's a hard choice. Yeah.
That's tough. Yeah, the smooth talker had a couple options too. Uh, I had Josiah Greer, who, funny enough, is friends with both Dwight and Kevin, and has kind of been mentored by Kevin quite a bit in the speaking world. So he's a guy that knows people, and I feel like he's a great communicator as well. So like he'd be a good person in that situation. I also had David Perdue, which I don't think you were on that episode, but a comedian from Atlanta, David Perdue.
Okay.
And it's like if you're looking for a distraction and someone who's good with people and knows how to entertain people, it wouldn't be the worst thing to have someone that knows how to make people laugh and just completely get them off the rails, just laughing, having a good time as you're sneaking in doing your thing. So he was on the list as well. That was a tough one. The mastermind was tough too. Like I said, I had 4 people, and
Yeah.
PJ Peterson was one of them because I feel like he's just so
Okay.
well connected, and he own business, does so many different things around the community. I feel like he's well connected, knows how to interact with people, and knows how to manage people. So he was on there. But I also had our friend Amy Velez.
Yeah.
She was on that too, and I felt like, again, went to college with her, just a really smart person, and I feel like, you know, everything that she does in her job and just as personable as she is, I feel like she would have been a really good choice for a mastermind as well. I feel like she's very sweet, but I feel like she could have put this whole heist together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It was tough. I mean, it took me a while, honestly. I had to I scrolled through all of our guests and I was like, this is hard. Like it was like I did have to go back and forth between a few of them, and even at the end of my list, I still had, like I said, like 2 or 3 under certain categories
mhm.
to be like, let me see what who Josh is gonna pick, and let me have some extra choices too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a tough one, but that was fun.
That was fun.
good.
I always enjoy those. Like I said, I don't want to overstay our welcome and do too many of these connectable guest drafts. But like I said, maybe we'll do it every other month. It's been about
Yeah.
a month since we did it, and I think that's probably a good amount of time. But yeah, I have
Yeah.
a bunch of other categories, which I'm not going to reveal now, but a bunch of other categories that I think will be a lot of fun. And then just randomly stuff will pop into my head. And in fact, just right now, another one popped in my head that I'm about to write down before I forget, because I think I enjoy these topics, and it is kind of fun to think about. And it's also fun that it limits it, because I don't know if you listened to this episode, but Jordan and I did an episode together about our top 5 dream podcast guests, but they had to be fake.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
but that was really hard because there are so many people you could choose, these fake characters or fake people. This one was challenging, but it's more because you're limited to a specific group of people, and there's so many great options that it does make it tough.
Yeah. The more options, the more difficult the choice. Kind of like me trying to buy a car right now. There's so many options, and it's just my brain hurts.
I did see that you put that on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah,
Any
I've
takers?
been no, not on Instagram, but I think I did find a car today that I'm actually going to buy tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. Well, and I put it on there because I'm like, if someone has like, I'd rather buy it from someone I know
Sure.
instead of like a dealer or a company. Like, let me help somebody out at least.
Sure.
But that's a long shot though, right? So anyway, yeah, when there's a lot of choices like cars, your brain hurts after a while.
Sure.
So the more choices sometimes is not good.
It's honestly, this sounds like it could be your first heist with this group. You guys could go steal the SUV.
I mean, we're gonna have to. Erin, I'm gonna need you to steal it for me.
Get ready, everybody. You're gonna get that call from Deb very soon.
We're gonna have to go.
There you go.
Have to put a Grand Theft Auto plan up for me.
There you go. Figure it out, guys. We'll get this episode out quick before you have to buy your car or steal your car.
Thanks.
Yeah,
yes.
Not a problem. Deb, is there anything else you want to chat about before we wrap this thing up? On the shorter side, but that's because we got started a little bit later tonight. So, which people are like, thank God, we don't need to listen to you for 18 more minutes. We're good.
Well, I'm looking at the time and it says like almost 42 and a half minutes, and I'm like, I love how we say that's short for us.
Right, and everybody else is like, this has been very long. If you talking for this long is very
plenty.
What's that?
Everyone else is like, that's plenty.
That's plenty.
Like,
Wrap it up.
No, just I think that was good, and I think it's good it's fun doing these drafts and bringing in our guests to, every new guest that we have is another choice for us to put on one of our drafts. I think it's great.
Yep, I agree. And speaking of drafts, Deb, are you going to be in any fantasy football drafts this year?
You know what? Someone did text me, and I don't remember who, asked about, can we do a fantasy draft? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm really bad at it, but sure. See, I didn't even brag that I was champion one year.
Well, that's the best time to do it. You should have. It's like, I don't even try, and I win.
And I won. I didn't do anything one year, and I won.
All right.
But I haven't heard anything since, so I don't know if they're doing it or not. So.
Well, if you do it, let us know. I would love to know how that whole thing goes.
I'm sure just exactly as you'd expect. I won't log on. I won't draft my team. I won't do anything, and I'll wait till the season's over.
Just like hope for the best.
Hope for the best. I can't believe I won that one year.
Yeah, no one else can believe you won either. So we're all in the same boat. It was a shock to everybody.
Okay.
Anyways, we don't need to talk about this because this is basically the extent of this conversation. It's like, you doing football? Maybe. I'll draft and then forget about it until the end. So that's it. That's Deb's strategy. So if anybody else is new to fantasy football, you could play like that if you want. But no one's quite as good at that as Deb is. So don't expect too much. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Deb, where can they follow us on social media?
You guys can follow us on Twitter at connectablepod and every other social media like Instagram. Oh my God, I'm blanking. Hang on. Scratch that. Let me start over.
Sorry, everybody. Deb had a stroke.
Wait, I did. It's late. I need to go to bed. I've had a few beers earlier today. Okay, hang on. Twitter at connectablepod, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok at Connectable Podcast, Facebook. There we
Okay.
go.
Just search Connectable. You'll find us.
Search it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. No one needs to. Yeah, they're following us on this or listening on this, so it's fine.
Maybe.
They'll find.
I'm gonna cut this whole thing. That was terrible advice. It's like, yeah, they don't need to follow us. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Just
We didn't
ignore
say
it.
that they're following us on this, so they'll find us on other platforms.
Okay.
All
right. Anyways, we're gonna wrap this up. I should just make Deb's screen go black. Just like pull the plug on her mic. Like, that's enough. No more speaking for Deb. Anyways, please follow and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app, and also our YouTube page. That would be awesome. And then please, if you would be so kind, head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave us a 5-star rating and review. We would greatly appreciate that. Plus, I think it helps us, become more visible to people that are scrolling through those podcast apps. So anything helps. We would greatly appreciate it. And we will talk to you guys next week. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the show. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you like it, share it, and hit the subscribe button to get a new episode every week. We'll see you next time on the Connectable Podcast.